Kit Kats can read.
Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler book review on Too Late by Colleen Hoover. As a disclaimer, this is a book that I purchased myself a few years ago, near enough when this book was released, and I've only just read it this month on the TBR, and after reading it I'm just like, you know what, why is it taking me so long to read it? It's again another one of those books that have been on the back burner, have been benched, because like I've bought them, I've stored them away, and then, you know, so many books, so little time situation. So this is the story about a girl called Sloane and a guy called Asa. They are in a relationship together, and basically this relationship is kind of like tainted because Asa is like a drug addict, he deals with drugs, and Sloane sort of like knows this, but yet she's staying with him because he is helping to pay for her autistic brother's care, and that's the only way, otherwise she'd be homeless. She had no way of looking after her brother with funds and everything, and he will have to go back to living with her mother, who is very, very problematic and also, I believe, deals with drugs as well. So Sloane really is thinking more about her brother, so she like puts up with it. And then one day in her college class she meets a guy called Carter, and he's sort of like an interesting person she's quite interested in, and they sort of like get along really, really well. And then when Sloane goes home she sees Asa stood next to Carter, and Asa is like, meet my new business partner. So then dun dun dun, Sloane is like, what on earth is going on, and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of like a mystery thriller story that is quite like a dark contemporary as well, that has trigger warnings for drugs and like almost rape as well, and yeah, also like, you know, like murder. And yeah, it's so intense. It's told from three perspectives of Carter, Asa and Sloane, so you get to see like all their points in this. And I really love how Colleen Hoover, with her writing, she has a great, fantastic way of portraying the characters and showing them across the pages, like of each of their own chapters. Like you feel like it's them. Like when you're reading Asa's chapters, you literally feel like you're disgusted at this character. Like I found myself like with Asa, when it was his turn, from his point of view, I literally like felt sick in my stomach. And like for an author to manage to do that to you is really, really good, and they've got to have some sort of talent to do that. And then, you know, with Sloane, you know, sort of being like quite sympathetic, and then Carter sort of being like, you know, quite an innocent soul that, you know, wants to do the greater good and everything. So yeah, brilliant story of that. Like I say, it's quite dark, and there are a few sort of like dark subjects that are sort of like hidden within this book, and just when you think that something's happened, you're like, oh my goodness, this has happened, you need to think again, because something else will happen just after that. It's very intense, it will keep you on your toes. I was thinking about this book even when I wasn't reading it. When I was at work, I had the book with me in my bag, and I kept thinking about the book in my bag and just being like, I just want to read. And to have a book that you're literally just like, I really, really want to read it, is another like good point as well. The fact that you want to know more, you want to know what happens next, you're so engrossed in this book that you just find it so hard to put down, apart from obviously life and reality when they hit. So yeah, for a book to do that is pretty rare, and this book did it for me. And you know, it's one of those non-popular books of Colleen Hoover. I find like not a lot of people have read these, like this book by Colleen Hoover, just because it's self-published, because originally it was on Wattpad, and then she released like chapter by chapter until she like people begged her to like bring out a physical book, and then she brought out a Kindle book as well. So it's available on the Kindle for really cheap. I think you can get it on Kindle Unlimited. And then yeah, this you know, paperback book if you want your own physical book as well. Like it's you know, pretty cool. So I'm glad that I read the physical book though, because I always like to read physical books, and like, you know, to have an actual copy of this, like I'm really glad, because this has become like a new ultimate favourite of mine. And in reading some of Colleen Hoover's books, this has also become like my top favourite of Colleen Hoover's now. I reread Maybe Someday recently, and that was my favourite, and this has like knocked it off the list. So This is like the top contender now for Colleen Hoover books, and I'm so glad I read it. I can't believe I waited so long to read it. It's such a good book. Totally recommend it. And I was like really satisfied with the ending of this book as well. There was just so much in this book that happened, and then like you sort of like reach the end and you're just sort of like, I don't know, like so many emotions, but at the same time sort of like satisfied with the ending. And that's like literally how I felt. I felt so many emotions. I was like just like angry at certain characters and sort of like really sort of choked up at certain situations. I was really upset, really shocked at some parts. Like I was proper emotional when reading this book. Like I remember like sat here reading and I literally just went and Aaron was sat next to me and he was like, what? And I was like, he has just done this. And Aaron was like, what? No way. And I was like, yes. And then just when that happens, something else happens and you're like, what is going on in this book? But it keeps you engrossed. It's so good that way. I really like all the characters, even though Aster is portrayed as sort of like a dark character, like a complete asshole, but the fact that he's written that way, is purposefully. You're meant to not like him. But, it's also written that in the scenes where sort of described as like a bit of his backstory, you also kind of like have a bit of like you feel for him as well. So it's like, what is going on? Like I hate this character, but at the same time I feel for him. It's just what is going on? Such a good book. Totally recommend it. And yeah, it's brilliant. Such a good book. I love reading Colleen Hoover's books, and I love finding brilliant books that just keep me going and make me love reading. This did it for me. I hope it would do it for you if you haven't read it yet. But if you've read Colleen Hoover's other books, then give this one a try. If you're new to Colleen Hoover, this might be a really good one to start with actually. If you're really sort of into your like mysteries and dark contemporaries, then yeah, give this one a read. But in the end I did rate this an ultimate Katie star. If you guys don't know, I really rate books this, but this is like a 6-star rating to me. It's like an ultimate favourite of mine. It's a big contender of the favourite of the year, and it's definitely going to be on that list, and that is why I have the ultimate Katie star. You get a 5-star read, and sometimes you get good star read, or like sort of like a sort of low 5-star read. But this is why I have the ultimate Katie star, for that reason, because sometimes I have a 5-star read, I'm like, that's good, but it didn't give me that real feeling like in the heart that it's like a favourite sort of thing. So yeah, that's why I rated it the ultimate Katie star. You have earned it, my sweet, you have earned it. So that is my end of my review for Too Late by Colleen Hoover. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If there's anything else you'd like to know about this book, please do let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys can pick it up and give it a read. And if you have read it, let me know down below what you thought about it as well. All of my social media links, as always, are linked down below in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere. Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, it's all there. Let's be friends, yeah, let's be friends. So that's it from me. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name's Katie, and I'll see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!